Hello, everybody. Raise your butt if you can hear me. Alright. Hello. My name is Bichphuongballz. You may remember me from such events as Questing for Glory #1, playing Phantasy Star 4, where I died in the air castle, and then on the second trip through, accidentally teleported out of the air castle, and then had to do the air castle again. Well, I just want to let everybody know that if you liked all that, you're going to be sorely disappointed with this run. Before we get started, I also want to just kind of give a heads up. There's a lot going on to get through the game in such a short time, as you can imagine. And unfortunately, since I'm solo, it's going to be pretty much impossible for me to explain what I'm doing as I'm doing it. So, there's a lot of opportunity for me to talk about it later. And that's pretty much what I'm going to have to do. So I apologize in advance. You might be wondering what's happening, and I won't be able to answer in the beginning. So go ahead and ask your questions, and if I don't get to them, then just ask them again. And yeah, okay. So, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to play Phantasy Star 2, Any Percent. The story of a hero named ABWX, and we are going to get ready in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And the game starts with a dream of girl fighting monster, guy waking up in cold sweat. Guy is also ripped. Guy is now going to work. Guy talks to his boss. We need to fix the planet. Alright, let's do that. Let's go home. Let's talk to cat waifu / roommate, and she's gonna join the party. Alright. So this game makes heavy use of an inventory glitch. So to set that up, oops, I'm gonna mess that up. I'm gonna empty his inventory. I'm gonna go to item storage. And when I go to his now, he's got a messed up inventory. So here we go. And then I'm gonna shut up for a while, unfortunately. Okay, I'm sorry about that. So, I just have to make sure... You're seeing the cursor go off screen, and I have to keep track of where I am by counting. So, I'm sorry, but yeah. It's hard to count and talk, unfortunately. I will slowly but surely tell you all that I'm up to. Starting pretty dang soon, actually. Okay, so Phantasy Star 2. Welcome. This game makes, heavy use of an inventory glitch. You set up a glitched inventory by emptying an inventory, and then going into storage, opening someone who does have an inventory, and then going back into the other person's inventory. So that's exactly how I glitched out Rolf's inventory. From there, you have access to 256 item slots, and all kind of shenanigans can occur from there. So the kind of short of it is that every item slot kind of is attached to something, some other value in the game. So item slots might be linked to someone's name. Item slots might be linked to an item. Item slots might be linked to someone's stats, so on and so forth. And so the manipulation of the route, if you will, revolves around manipulating values and then pulling an item from that item slot and putting it into your inventory. So let me give you an example of that. If I want, most of the items I was pulling from, actually, hang on, I'm gonna show you this. So you just watched the best cutscene in the game. This dude kills his daughter and then kills himself. Out of context. I'm just gonna leave that out of context. And we'll just continue. And then, you need an item to trigger that cutscene, and I actually duplicated the item and played the cutscene twice. And it glitches me on the world map, and I'm able to walk through walls and not get any encounters, so that's cool. And now we're gonna go back to town. We visited 2 towns, and the gimmick in this game is as you visit new towns, you also recruit new party members. So now I have a full party. And I am also going to glitch out the new person's inventory as well, so I want to empty his stuff. But getting back to the example, that I was trying to get to, I pulled a lot of my items out of slot 56, which is linked to the person's behind you, their defense. So Rolf's item slot 56. Hang on. Relates to Nay's defense. And so if I just change Nay's defense by equipping armor or unequipping armor or whatever, I change that value and I can actually change what item I pull out. So that's why I'm able to pull out different items out of the same exact item slot. So the kind of short of it is that, like, I'm gonna pull out a bunch of key items that you need to beat the game right now so that I don't actually have to do the content. And that should explain to you why the estimate is so low and why I can beat the game so fast in a game that should take you, 20 hours or something like that. No, I don't want that. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to be quiet again for the next few minutes. I did. Okay, so what do I want to do? Alright, that should do it. And now I'm gonna buy about 1 billion antidotes right now. And unfortunately, I'm gonna have to keep count of that too. I promise, though, as we do more content, I will tell you exactly what's going on. Okay. We're ready. Alright, I'm sorry about that. It's just really, really hard to keep track of what's going on and talk at the same time. You would absolutely, like, totally use a co-commentator for that part, probably. Except I'm greedy and I want all of the glory that comes with, speed runs. Anyway, so what I was trying to get at is the game makes use of an inventory glitch. If you want the summary, it's kind of like you manipulate RAM or like stat values to pull different items out of the Shadow Realm and into your inventory, which allows you to pull out all of the key items you need to beat the game without having to actually do the dungeons to beat the game. The other thing that you're doing every time you mess with their stats by going into the item inventory is you can glitch out their stats too. That used to be the way. The problem with that was it still required you to level up. You would just have higher stats than you otherwise would per level, and that was fine back in the day, but not anymore. And so the move now is to buy roughly like 40 antidotes for my glitched characters. And ultimately what you end up doing is you replace everything in those Shadow Realm item slots with the antidote. And the antidote, for whatever reason, just happens to set a value of 5,140. And so once you buy enough antidotes, I'm gonna have to fight this. Once you buy enough antidotes, you override your stats with the value 5,140. Hang on, I'm gonna gain a few levels here, so just bear with me. I just need to gain a couple of levels, just in case, you know what I'm saying? Marathons. Just a little bit, just a couple of levels. There you go, okay. Now we're also level 1 billion, but anyway, the point being is once you get, you know, 5,000 strength and 5,000 HP and 5,000 defense and 5,000 agility, like, suddenly I am in position to beat the game. And you can see my damage now at the top. I'm doing like 200 damage, which you can reach in the normal game, but it takes really, really good weapons and a lot of levels. So, yeah. And so the gist of it, I think you're seeing it all come together. I have all the items I need to beat the game. I shouldn't say all, I should say most. And I also have stats that'll allow me to survive the end game. Okay. And that's again how you can get through the game in 45 minutes or less. Actually, the record right now is 36 minutes. Okay, so let's talk about this going into the menu that I'm doing. This game it's old school, right? It's got your old school step counter. So at some point in time, it's decided that when a step counter reaches 50, you're gonna get into an encounter. And in this dungeon, for example, every step I take increments the step counter by 2. So I start at 0, and once I walk 25 steps, I will get into an encounter. Oh, nice. But if you happen to pop into the menu as you step, you don't actually increment that step counter at all, and you can hold off encounters that way. Now, you see that I'll only do it every now and then, and that's because anytime the camera is going to scroll when you do it, it actually lags the game, and it will not actually finish the or let you enter the menu until the camera has continued scrolling. Nice ambush. So this is not very good luck. But point being is it actually slows you down more than it helps you. Even though you might push an encounter or two back, if you have to sit and wait for the camera to scroll every time, you're technically slowing yourself down. So what you're gonna see me attempt to do, and I'm not perfect at it by any means, is I'm only gonna do it when I know the camera isn't gonna scroll. That's why you'll only see me do it sometimes. But yeah, so that's some of the tech. There's not like a ton of tech in this game. It's really just like, once you understand how the glitch works and you know just specifically what to do to progress through the speed run, then you really just do nothing except for walk and hope that you get good luck. So this game is sometimes called a walking simulator because you really do just do a lot of walking. So as I mentioned before, I said I didn't quite have everything that I needed, and so even though I have much of what I need, there are still certain things you need and certain flags you have to set to beat the game. And one of those things you need is, if you've ever played this game, you know somewhere down the line you have to open up these 4 dams. And unfortunately, for me to be able to progress through the game, even though I have all of these key items, I think you have it, yeah you do, I still have to set these 4 flags, and that means I still have to do the dungeons, unfortunately. Okay. The good news is that even though I have to do certain pieces of content still, I hope that you can agree that the soundtrack's pretty banging. Say whatever you want about Phantasy Star, and if they were made well in the first place, or if they aged well, which they most certainly have not, except for perhaps 4. But I will say that the soundtrack's pretty awesome, and so maybe Phantasy Star 2 is a little slow, which I can't really argue with. But like, for me anyway, it's comfy. It's comfy. So I'm a fan. So you heard me talking about luck for a minute, and you might be noticing now that perhaps I am getting bad luck. Or I'm sorry, really, really good luck, excuse me, like the God Walk. And it doesn't have anything to do with luck. This is actually a consequence of skipping so much content. I have actually skipped like 4 dungeons or something like that, and like 5 other towns, and yeah. So if you're familiar with the game, then you know somewhere in the game you figure out that the climate systems of the planet are messed up, and you have to go to the climate center and fix it, and then you end up fighting a boss there, and that boss turns out it's a really, really important trigger for this game. And so when you kill that boss, the game knows to repopulate the world with different enemies, and it knows to populate these dungeons with enemies, because technically you can access these areas early, and even if you could survive them, it doesn't matter, because they actually don't put the encounters in until it's quote-unquote time to go here. So the main thing here is that because I skipped all of the content, I never actually had to kill the boss. And because I never killed the boss, the game doesn't know to populate these dungeons with encounters now. It was never told to do so. So for every dungeon that I go to from here on out, there will actually be 0 encounters, 0. The overworlds will still have encounters because the overworlds are always populated. But we'll still fight the old enemies here in this overworld, because the game never knew to change them, and again, dungeons will not have encounters. So that's kind of cool, because ultimately, the majority of RNG in this game comes from encounter luck, in the sense of, 1, not getting them, and 2, running into battles with things that you can actually have a high chance of running away from. So technically these are a pretty high chance to run away from. I believe it's 60 or 70% success. But unfortunately I got ambushed there. So the other kind of thing to know with this game is run rates. And that might sound pretty awful, but it's actually not that bad because we skip so much content, and because also most of the time reskins have the same run rate as others that are the same as them. So, you know, it's a classic old RPG, right? Like, you know, they'll show the same exact enemy, it'll just be a different color. They all have the same run rate, and so there's really only so many encounters, like maybe like 12 or 15, that I have to actually be aware of. So it's easy to keep track of, I guess, is my point. Of like, I don't have like this encyclopedic brain of like, oh man, I can't believe you know who to run from. Like, what a smart guy. It's like, no, there's barely anything. And so this is kind of like the walking simulator portion of this run. Like, I just have to go through the dungeons, and nothing's gonna happen to me, but I still have to do it. So this is definitely, it already was during the Red Dam, but this is a great time. I probably missed all kinds of comments and questions. So I know, I'm sorry if this makes you feel dumb or anything like that, but if you had something you wanted to say or ask, I just ask that you say it again or ask it again so I can actually look at chat and address it this time, because I was not able to look at chat while I was doing all the glitches and things like that. Does this game have Chaz in it? No. It has Chaz's descendant, Rolf, who is way cooler. Why is PS4 music better? Because it came out like a billion years later, you know? This is absolutely the fastest we can move, yeah. I can't make this go any faster, unfortunately. Who has the green heart? You have the green heart. Alright. Here we're doing an item duplication, so as long as I just highlight the item, move to a glitched person, hit B and hit confirm and deny or whatever at the same time on that next option, it'll actually enter the item use menu, and I can just use the item without using the item. That's cool. Nice ambush. Yeah, so when you buy the antidotes, Bichphuongballz, you set a value of 5,140. And so I don't know the exact item slot number, but one of them coincides with your experience. And so you set 5,140 experience for your glitched party members, and then once you fight a battle, you will get all of that experience. This game takes place before Phantasy Star 4. This game was pretty amazing for its time. Like, it hasn't aged well at all, but like, it looks great, it had a much different storyline tone, completely different setting than most games. I know I haven't fought a lot of battles, but you're seeing like awesome animations and things like that. It was really like a game changer back in the day, but now it's like, it's definitely a crawl for sure. It would be pretty tough to play this game casually or like suggest it casually at all. It's pretty rough. That thing I was just sailing, no, I don't start with it. It's one of the few things that I actually had to do in the game. I actually had to do the dungeon to go get it, because you can't, unfortunately it's not an item you can just put in your inventory, you have to actually go and get it. Oh, you know me. You know me. Household name. Bichphuongballz. Trying to reach for all levels of fame that speedrunning can bring. I said Descendant, and I don't remember who I said who was the Descendant, but yeah. This game is before 4. But yeah. So right now in the midst, what should have happened in the game is that you recruit some people, you shut down this lab that's making monsters, then you find out the climate's out of control, so then you go to shut down the climate, and that's where you fight that boss I was telling you about. And then the climate still is whack, so one thing you try to do to like fix the conditions is to open up these dams. And technically you get labeled as a war criminal, and you get hunted by a bunch of robots that I would normally be getting encounters with those. But again, I explained already why I'm not getting into any encounters. And yeah, that's what we're doing right now. And we're almost done, just one dam to go. And so again, this is not like something I can fix or fake with items. Like, you have to actually set the flag. That's why I have to do this. There are plenty of other key things you have to do that are just equipment based, of like, I just have these items and that's good enough. But unfortunately there are certain flags you have to do, and this is one of them. So this is like easily the slowest part of the run. Oh, nice. This is a 60% chance success, so I kind of always struggle with like what to do here, because see, like, you just never know. Like, if you just get an instant run, you know, maybe it's like 5 seconds of your time. Oh my god, if you sit and kill, it's like 10 seconds of your time, so it's worth it. But then there are certain enemies that 60% is just like, I don't know. That was like 4th try right there, right? Or 3rd try. So, you know, it would have been faster to fight it in that scenario. But if I'd gotten away first try, then it would have been slower to kill them, right? So it's just one of those things you got away. Phantasy Star series games are absolute RNG grindfests. Yes, like, you have to know the run, and yes, you have to be, depending on the game, well, you have to be good no matter what, but depending on the game will determine just how good you have to be, or what it takes to be good. And this game, once you understand what's going on and you just remember your menus, it's really simple to play. And I have a set of notes that if anyone is interested in learning this game, I have notes that'll get you all the way through without any issues. But the point being is, once you get good, then you really just play the route and you hope you get really good encounter luck and boss luck. We haven't fought any bosses yet, but you'll see. And then you see what happens. I just got beat recently. There was a new route update that saved about a minute. But the dude, my boy Jacine, also got just epic lucky, and I was like, dang, dude, like, it's gonna be hard to beat. And I don't know that I'm gonna grind it, but yeah, it's a really easy run to pick up. So if you really like this game and think you might enjoy running it, you know, the notes are there, and they're really easy to follow, and it's a really easy run to get through. So check it out sometime if you want. Right now the community is pretty interested in Phantasy Star 1 being released on the Switch for all of its quality of life changes. And you might be seeing speedruns of that in the nearish future. I don't know. Not from me, because I don't own a Switch, but from some people. And I'm happy to tell you we're almost done with this dam, so hang in there. This game has atrocious dungeon design. They're just corridor mazes, man. Like, and they just go out of their way to be mean about it. And then they pepper the dungeons with rough encounters, and so you're just in here and you are actually grinding. And it's rough, man. It's rough. When the game came out, they gave you like a billion-page instruction booklet with the standard instructions, and then like all of the maps for the dungeons, because like this game is ridiculous, you know. And you're seeing it now. Like, there's actually not a lot of square footage in this dungeon, but like it's just a maze every floor, and you just have to go through a billion transitions to get through. All the while you're fighting encounters right? So again, a big part of why this game casually, you're playing it in 2018, is just like an epic slow crawl, you know? The speedrun absolutely makes it bearable. Because either you're not getting encounters like right now, and when you do, it's like, oh, well, I'm overpowered anyway, like, I don't even care. Okay, so, the cops are onto us. They know what we're up to, so even though we're gonna open this last dam, we're gonna get ambushed by 3 army eyes. And, they aren't technically unkillable, but you'll softlock the game if you do kill them. So the easiest way to do this is just to try to run away. Because all it's scripted, it just takes 3 rounds. And then they capture you and you end up in here. In the space satellite Gyra, which is, I wouldn't call it a prison, you just end up here. You see, I have these rings in front of me, or around me rather, and they are keeping me binded, so technically you would get encounters in here, but like I said, no dungeon has been populated with any. There's these damage tiles as well, and you actually, if the encounters were here, you actually wouldn't be able to do anything. You would actually have to run away, and your chances of running away are decent, but like not great, so like you might have to sit and try over and over again. Enjoy this sound. If it weren't for a chance of me live PBing because of a route change, I would actually just sit here for like 2 extra minutes. But I guess I'll try to go fast. I guess. So now the game's going to play some cutscenes, and the funny thing is, I'm actually going to be returning to town, and it should play a new cutscene, but again, because I didn't do anything yet, and I haven't triggered any changes, the game doesn't know what cutscene to play. And so this is standard stuff, but once I get back to town, because the game doesn't know what cutscene to play, because I haven't technically done anything, it'll actually play the beginning of the cutscene, like the beginning of the game cutscenes over again, which I think is kind of funny. But anyway, here's Tyler. He's a space pirate. He saved us, and then we watch a satellite destroy an entire planet. And now we're back into town. And we're gonna go talk to our boss, and he's gonna be like, oh, save the planet. Alright, cool. Then we're gonna go home, and then we're gonna talk to a cat waifu slash roommate. She's gonna join our party, and then I gotta go back into the house, and I'll be like, oh, it's blonde dude again, cool, hi. And then it's like, ooh, it's cute doctor again, hi. And I gotta, oh god, no, I don't want to rename you. And let's put him back in our party. We put the girls in front because they're the ones that are glitched out. Rudo next, and then Rolf last. Because we don't want Rolf getting hit. Alright, so this is a route change. Normally I'd have to go through this dungeon and hope for a god walk, but now I can use this item called the Bichphuongballz, which allows you to save anywhere. Which is whatever, like, I don't care about saving, but what that actually does, it also sets my teleport point from the original town to a town already on this planet, so now I don't have to actually walk through this dungeon at all, and I end up in this new planet instead. So now I can just walk straight to where I'm going, so I just saved myself some heartbreak, and this is why I have a chance of live being here tonight, because I have not actually done this new route at all. I purposely saved it for this marathon so I could further try to screw over High Spirits on the schedule. I might have acted like I cared about the schedule because he's my friend, but the truth is, no, I'm trying to own him as hard as possible. So here we are. We just saved time, and we're almost done. And now we get one last banger here. Well, I guess it's not the last banger, but I like this one. I like this song. Now we're gonna head to Esper Mansion. We're gonna find our boy Lutz so he can tell us how to beat the game. If you're familiar with this game, you know there's a bunch of dungeons you have to do here. They're all terrible, but remember, I have all of those items already, so I can just go ahead and go. It's all good, man. And before, yeah. I'll play Phantasy Star 400% right after, man. I'll put us behind a half hour if you want, dude. Let's do it. Raise your butt if you want me to put the schedule behind 30 minutes instead of ahead by 25. Nice butts, thank you. I appreciate the support. Y'all are too kind. I love you. And as we reach the end of our journey, I just want to say what an honor it's been to talk about Phantasy Star 2 with everybody here. And I hope you've enjoyed the ride, because the ride is almost over. Nice. See, that's an example of me completely messing up the, what we call menu stepping. Oh, dude, nice ambush. Large miner. So you can see why you don't really want encounters. These guys have super high defense, tons of hit points. Even though I'm overpowered, like, I still have to sit here for a billion years. This is a huge waste of time. Rolf died and you actually can't progress if he dies. That's why you take the time to pull out a Moondew from your inventory. Just in case that happens, so you can just revive him here. He's back. Let me in. Here we're gonna see our boy Lutz. Normally, you're supposed to talk to both guards, but instead, if you just talk to the same guard twice, the game is like, oh, you totally talk to both guards. And here we are. We're gonna meet our boy Lutz, and he's gonna tell us what's up. He's gonna tell us what's up. Pay close attention to the second conversation I have with him. The second conversation coming up right now. Thought. Okay. The game kind of glitches out there and you can soft lock, but if you pause a bunch of times, it kind of resets itself. And here we are. We are now on the spaceship Noah, also a good track. And again, no encounters. And so all we have to do is walk our way over to the last two bosses and see what Goddess RNG has for us tonight. So just to kind of reiterate one last time here, glitch out the inventory, pull all kinds of stuff out of the Phantom inventory, key items, whatever, mostly key items, yeah. Glitch out your stats, set a few flags that you have to set, and then just go and beat the game. One last tidbit I forgot to mention of why would I want to name my guy ABWX? Well, it turns out slots, let me think here, 21 through 24 are actually linked to name. And so the letter you have in your name will actually alter the item you get from those slots. And so ABWX happen to be letters that correspond to the items I want. So you are actually almost literally pulling items out of my name, and that's also why you might have mentioned, I know Ghoul did, he noticed the Tetris blocks, and that's why they actually become check marks at first, because it's like, oh, you totally pulled the item out of the name. And let's fight Dark Force here. What's up, dude? Yo, he started with the ambush. Always lucky, dude. Except never lucky. So the bosses in here are so big, you don't get to see your damage window at all. But I'm just gonna assume I'm doing about 14 billion damage. See, oh, he lived. Dark Force is a huge troll. He can do these curses, and they slow you down. Every miss that I have, too, slows me down. Otherwise, he's a pretty free boss, because I'm doing 14 billion damage per turn. Casually, this guy is a nightmare, and in the older route, he was a nightmare also, because it took a while to kill, and if he cursed your damage dealers, you were just stuck there. Alright, see you guys. Otherwise, it's fine. You should be dying with this round or next round. There he goes. See ya. And now I want to put on a ceramic bar. And he's dead, man. He's dead. So we have one last boss, Mother Brain. So the deal with Mother Brain is she has more HP. She doesn't do anything trolly, though, attack-wise. But the problem with Mother Brain is, even though I have a billion agility, Mother Brain actually just has a flat dodge rate. And so it doesn't matter how good you are, you can just miss anyway. And so, again, the more misses I have, the longer this boss fight takes. Time is not when I kill the boss. Nice miss. It will be during a cutscene after the boss. The double miss! And yeah, so the kind of underlying plot of the game is the people of Matavia get complacent because a computer, Mother Brain, takes care of them. And then the planet starts getting messed with, and you kind of just decide, you know, we don't want to live under the reign of a computer. Everybody should be free. Yeah. And then you just kill her. And you can see my awesome HP values here, because it can't actually display 5,000 HP. See ya. Okay, so time is coming up in a little bit, maybe like 10, 12 seconds or something like that. And it turns out the people responsible are actually Earthmen. They destroyed their own planet, and now they want to take over yours, and time. And then you're left with an ambiguous ending of all of your party members fighting off all the Earthmen, and you don't know if they live or die. But yeah. There is the end of the run. And you get to see all these party members I never actually got. And so that's kind of what I meant about, like, this game was, like, way ahead of its time. Of just, like, it had a darker, mature storyline, it had a sci-fi setting, like, it was really cool for its time. Can someone tell me what time I got? $4:20. Oh, I didn't live PV, dude. Damn it. $39.36. So I did add 5 minutes of aheadness to the schedule. Sorry. Yeah, with the new route update, it's like a free minute, but my luck wasn't great, and I'm sure I was also playing, like, not super fast either, so but yeah, you know, heavily glitched video game. You get to just kind of skip through to the end, and you get to see some madness, so it might be a bit of a silly game to grind, perhaps, but I feel like if you're familiar with this game, or maybe if you're not familiar with the game, sometimes it's just fun to see a game just blown apart like that. So I hope you enjoyed the show. This game hasn't really had a huge showing in a marathon, I don't think. And so I hope I got to help with that. And I had fun. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. And I want to thank High Spirits and team for putting me on. And right now I'm very much a Phantasy Star boy. I run this game and 4. And so if you're interested in that, you can throw me a follow. If you're not interested in that, you can throw me a follow and just, I don't know, give me money or whatever. And yeah, we'll get the next run started, man, and then enjoy Quest for Glory, which is going to go on another 9 days. 9 days. 9 days. Take care, y'all. You have a great Friday. I hope you have a 3-day weekend just like me, and enjoy the rest of the show. Peace out.